Okay, guys, for today's lesson, this sheet that says multiplying numbers in scientific notation. And we're going to start off where we left off. We talked previously about what a number needs to be in scientific notation. And if you look at both of these numbers right here, they're in scientific notation. But today we're going to take these and we're going to multiply them together and see what happens with it. So when we're multiplying, we take the two base numbers and we pull those out. So 2.37, I want to multiply by 9.7. So we're going to use our calculator. And if I take 2.37 multiplied by 9.7, I see I do get an answer of 22.989. Okay, then scientific notation, when you recall, we always put on a times 10 there. And the exponent, if I look, I've got a -4 here. Well, if you have a number and with an exponent and it's being multiplied by the same number with a different exponent, for example, a to the 4th times a to the 5th, what we did was we just added these 4 plus 5 and we got 9. So it's the same concept here. We have this 10 and we're going to take -4 because of that exponent, and we're going to add -6 for this exponent. Okay, so I have 22.989 times 10, -4 plus 6 gives you -10. Okay, and then we see 22.989 is not in scientific notation because this base number is larger than 10. It has to be smaller, which means I'm going to take this decimal, I'm going to move it back 1, and when I move it back 1, I now have 2.2989. Okay, I put on times 10, and I still have that to the -10th power. Now, because I moved it back 1, that move right there means you're going to add 1 onto that exponent. So 2.2, and it's okay if we cut off these last two digits because scientific notation pretty much only uses up to the 100th. So we can say 2.29 times 10, -10 plus 1 is -9. So that's my answer for that one. Okay, number 2. I'm going to take 1.47. I'm going to multiply by 2.5. So 1.47 multiplied by 2.5. And I'm going to show that I get 3.675. So I'll write down 3.675. I put times 10, and then I take this first power, -4. I add it to the back power, -6. Okay, so again, I'm only going to write down the 2 after the decimal. So I'm going to say 3.67 times 10. -4 plus -6 is -10. When I check this answer out, I see that it is 1 or more for my base number. It's less than 10. So I don't need to move this decimal at all. It's already in scientific notation. Okay, number 3. We have 7 as the first base number. I'm going to multiply it by the second one, 6.88. So I'm going to do 7 times 6.88. And I get 4.816. So 4.816. Then I put times 10. I take the first exponent, -3. I'm going to add it to the back one, 5. So then I'm going to only go with the first two digits after the decimal. So I'm going to have 4.81 times 10. -3 plus 5 is 2. Check out this one. We see the base number, it is 1 or more. It's less than 10, so the decimal doesn't have to be adjusted. So that's it. Okay, number 4. Write down 3.8, multiply by 5.4. So 3.8 times 5.4. We get 20.52. Okay, we put the times 10 on there. And then this first exponent's a -5. I add it with the back one, a 0, which is not going to have any effect on that. So I have 20.52 times 10 to the negative fifth power. But this base number, it's too big. It's larger than 10, so I need to adjust that decimal. So I'm going to move this decimal back 1, and when I do that, that means I need to add 1 onto that exponent. So for every place that you move back, you're going to have to add that many spots onto the exponent. So I'm going to say 2.05, and I'm going to just leave off that 2 times 10. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. Okay, looks like we got 2 more to do together. So number 5, we have 9.27. We'll take that times 7.34. Okay, so I get 68.0418 times 10, and then I have the negative 1 for this exponent, add it to the back one of a 3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say 68.0418 times 10, negative 1 plus 3 is 2. All right, this number is too large, so this decimal has to be adjusted. It's got to be moved back 1, which means I add 1 to that exponent. So I'm just going to say 6.80, or just 6.8 times 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 6.8 times 10 to the third power. Okay, number 6, we have 2 being multiplied by 5. So 2 times 5 there, so that gives me 10. And then I put times 10, and I have the power of 6. I'm going to add it with the back one, negative 1. So that gives me 10 times 10, 6 plus negative 1 is 5. Okay, now our base number has to be 1 or more, which this is, but it has to be less than 10. It cannot be 10. So right here's where my decimal currently is. I have to move it back 1, which means I add 1 onto this. So I end up with 1 times 10 to the 6th power. Okay, you guys go ahead and solve number 7. Do number 8. Okay, solve 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16.